What's up guys, this is Astranox. So Faithless Lidica was buffed and in some circumstances she was nerfed, but I like the changes. I like the buff that she got. She actually does more damage with skill number 2. She has 15 skill ups, so you guys are going to be able to see what kind of damage she's able to output. She's got 1 imprint, and I have her built on like a hybrid setup. I want her to deal damage, but I also want her to be fast. 265 speed, 245 crit damage, but you want 100% crit chance on her. More onto that in a minute. Effectiveness 69, you can soul burn S3 for ignore effect resistance. She's on Sash Itain. I need her to actually boost the combatness of my team, including herself, whenever a target dies, and that is a very effective way for you to gain more turns over the enemy, to lap the enemy, to maybe get that slower hero to follow the rest of your team, and that hero is going to be able to clean up, follow in the rotation. That is a very strong, very dangerous, and when you're playing with high speed, you want stuff to happen on turn 1, on turn 2, because you don't want the enemy to go. You want to disable the enemy, you want to slow them down, stun them, you want to put their skill on cooldown, and you can put the skill of someone on cooldown, full cooldown with Faithless Lidica. It's very powerful. I like to use it versus Apocalypse Ravi. Those pesky Apocalypse Ravis, right? They're so annoying and dangerous. Now, let me break it down. The way she worked before is that she used the skill number 2, attacks everyone, then your team gets 5% combatness per target that gets hit, right? But now the combatness push for your team is on her skill number 3, which is a single target attack. You can see here with the skill nullifier, protecting your team. If the enemy has single target heroes, it's really good protection. And also when you're fighting the AI in a control environment, arena, guild war offense, you're baiting different heroes into different elements, so you can really put that skill nullifier to good use. And worst case, if your skill 3 gets resisted, you cannot put Apocalypse Ravi's skill on cooldown, well, you got the skill nullifier to protect your team, which is really, really cool. Now, okay, skill 2, 5% CR push per target that you hit. Now, in a piece of content like Guild War, it's only 3v3, right? So you can only push the CR of your team by 15%. That's the way she worked before. So she's stronger in content where you're fighting less targets than 4, or maybe she shows up later on in your rotation and there's only 3 targets left, 2 targets left, 1 target left, right? Or maybe she uses the skill 2 later on in the battle. The way she worked before, the CR pushing was not so good. Now it's on skill number 3, it's 25% CR push on a single target attack. You just need to do a crit chance, right? And you will put the skill nullifier on your team. Like, skill 3 is really packed. Now, what you need to worry about is immunity on the enemy, right? So you need to strip that. If you use skill 2 the way she is now, and you're fighting 4 targets, there's no Politis in the enemy team, then she's going to be able to go back to back, skill 2 into the skill number 3. Very powerful. Now, if you crit with skill number 2, you're able to remove not only 1 buff per target, you can remove 2 buffs per enemy, which is really, really strong. And you can use her even as an opener, even though her base speed is not so great. 114, I believe. There's better openers. You can just go with a 128, 129 base speed hero to open, pushing C-Dom and then push the rest of your team. Or you could use like a Ran into Edda, CR pushing like that, use Silver Rain, get attack buff. Like, there's a lot of ways to just be faster than her. So I feel like she's stronger not to go toe-to-toe versus like a high base speed hero. You want her to show up later on. You want to push her using an actual like super high base speed hero. You want to maybe pop someone, so Sash Itain on her pushes your whole team's combatness, then she goes. I like to use her with Summer Times Area, like that's very strong. Because now on a crit with skill 2, she can remove, immunity set and also 2 buffs from the enemy. Of course, you need to have effectiveness on her to do that. So you can see like her damage actually on skill 2 was improved. It's higher than before. So especially when you have her with defense breaker, like Ran in my case, then you can really pump the damage even though she's not even built for pure damage. And I want to showcase her on an actual big damage build without having that much speed, maybe like 200, or maybe for the memes I would go with like no speed rage penetration set, right? And I would just like push her with Oxlot just to see what kind of damage she's able to output, or maybe use different CR pushers in the team and get her to eventually go. So I can try stuff like this out, and we can really see the damage she's able to do with that skill too. But the thing is, well, better to push her with an Oxlot in that case, because then there's still going to be 4 targets, right, after she uses the skill number 2. Well, before she uses skill number 2, which means you're gonna get, you know, the 25% CR push per target for herself. So she's gonna be able to go get 100% CR push and then follow up with the skill number 3. So I feel like that could deal big damage for sure. Maybe like a Rand defense break into Oxlot, pushing her on rage with penetration, so she gets more damage from her skill number 3 because it's a single target attack and skill 1s. So that could be fun, you know, for the memes, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's gonna be a realistic like setup. It could surprise some players. That's the thing. You could surprise some players. They're thinking like, oh, she's got high speed. Maybe you can bait some bans to an RT. Oh, they think like you got all your best speed on her. Yeah, you need 100% crit chance on her. It's pretty important. So even if you're gonna be going max speed on her, you need a crit chance necklace. So keep that in mind. You don't need effectiveness per se if you want to rely on the skill number 3 to put skill on cooldown, but you need to worry about immunity. So if you need to skill 2 into skill 3, you might be in for a rough time with those 15% innate resist or evade hero, like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I like the damage that she's able to do with my stats. It's nothing insane, but it's something, right? I like the flexibility of the hero. You know, she can do a lot of stuff, like definitely helping the team, boosting their survivability. Skill nullifier, putting full skill cooldown on, you know, one target is very good, and you can pull stuff like Apocalypse Ravi, you know, ML Celine, Tempest Siren. Like there's some heroes that are really annoying, right? Hua Yong, right? If you're able to take care of the immunity, some heroes don't even have immunity, right? Like a Tempest Siren. I mean, you don't see those too often, but sometimes they just don't have it, right? Sometimes they just go with a 2-piece like penetration because it's OP for damage increase. So in that case, well, you could just open up with skill 3. Like, you don't have to open with skill 2. That's the thing. Now, another thing is that she used to give 5% CR push per target, right? Which would be a maximum of 20% CR push for your team. But now with skill 3, it's a 25% CR push. So she's got an even higher CR push compared to before. Now, in problematic situations where I feel like she got nerfed, is if you're going to be using her as a CR push, you're relying too much on skill 2 into skill 3. You want to remove their immunity to put their skill on cooldown and put skill null on your team. Do the whole combo with her, right? And then you're fighting a team that has a Politis. Any hero that would push, make your CR pushing not as powerful as before, meaning that she's going to S2. She's not going to be able to get her next turn right off the bat because, like, say Politis is there, right? Yeah, 50% less CR pushing means she only has 50% CR, right? This is a 4v4 encounter, so she can't do S2 into S3, which means it's going to be a nerf if you're playing her like that. But you can simply open up with skill number 3, have an actual fast base speed hero go before her, remove immunity off the enemy, put that skill 3 to good use, maybe follow up later with skill number 2. It's not that big of a deal, but I love that skill 2 doesn't trigger any counter. It's so strong, and you can have her on a damage build. Can't wait to see what type of damage she's able to actually output with a damage build, so I'm gonna test that out for you guys. Definitely stay tuned for that. But let us know what you guys think about the buffed up Faithless Lidica in the comment section. That's it for this one. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. Peace out for now.